Oh, sorry, guys. I
It starts with coming to you live.
Oh yes, coming
to you live.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
And your volume is on the stream. Okay.
All right. Yes, I know. Okay. All right. Everything is ordered. Please forget the last 20 seconds. Coming to you live from deep within an icy. Oh, it's not icy anymore. A muddy and rainy and windy radioactive wasteland. We are the survivors of the alt-right Keck apocalypse. The few, the brave, the bitchy. Once more wading into battle against the legal froggy zombie turdy hordes with. No longer Fundzerker. This is just a rant Zerker because we're almost funded. Number 160. Yeah, we have like $55 left on the fundraiser for the month. So the verdict is in for Heard versus Depp, and we're going to react live to said verdict. And nothing's really happening in the courtroom, so we will just chat for a bit.
Yeah, I was just wondering, Brian, are you fresh and full of life?
I am fresh and full of life. This is how I know all of this worked out. You know, what all this last minute stuff I had to organize for this stream worked out, and I think it's because of the Fresh Maker. So
yeah, all right.
Fresh Maker.
Mentos. Yeah, no. Here's my mint.
Radio.
Here's my mint.
Brought to you by Mentos. Now, Q Mentos suing us for even saying that.
My husband got these. They open in this. See, you just open like one corner of the star, and then you have these curiously strong breath mints that would probably kill him. So he gave them to me.
Are they like what was those? The Altoids? Wasn't that the one that was billed as a curiously strong?
Yeah, he got these from a restaurant chain called Chop. Right, this is what they give you after dinner, at least when your company's doing a company lunch.
Yeah,
at Chop.
Luckily, well, I've had some of those.
Lucky for us, they paid for the lunch because that place is 7-ounce sirloin steak, $45.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that a mega pint, Karen?
This?
Yeah.
This is just a camping glass of wine. I use it because the stem won't snap off.
Okay.
And it weathers well in the dishwasher.
What the heck are you doing with your wine glasses?
You know, like they have. Okay, there's a reason why bars now they serve wine in glasses without stems often. Right? And it's because the stems snap. They snap in the dishwasher. They snap on the table. If you tip them over, they freaking break, right? So, like this, I've had this for like probably about 20 years. Still good.
I wonder if Johnny is going to actually attend the verdict, because I know he's in Britain.
I don't know.
He might watch it by Zoom.
Yeah, via satellite. I see that Heard is sitting there with her lawyer. Oh, everyone's standing up. I think this is it.
There we go.
Where we have seen crowds growing, supporters, and so forth as we get ready for this verdict to be read. It is about 3 o'clock.
All right, are we ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. All right. Just for everybody in the gallery, reminder that this is a court of law. And regardless of the verdict, I will not tolerate any outbursts whatsoever. Okay? Thank you.
This is super tense. Wow.
It's not tense for me because I'm prepared for disappointment.
Yeah, that's I'm also, well, I guess I'm not prepared for disappointment, but I'll tolerate it.
As long as you prepare to be disappointed, all your surprises are pleasant.
Well, I guess this is where they should be inserting the drum roll, eh?
There's so much whispering going on. Mm. 3 days.
Yeah, that's a way faster than Derek Chauvin.
Yeah, true.
If I could have the attorney's approach for a moment.
What was that? Oh,
The attorneys are going to approach, so she's going to give them some counseling, and then they're going to announce the verdict. I imagine they really like to keep the suspense up. Of course, I
so
suppose.
Depp wasn't even. He's not even here.
Yeah.
And
No.
he's off doing something else. So if Amber Heard loses, she won't even have someone to glare at.
Yeah, or if she wins, she won't have somebody to gloat over.
Yeah, and if she wins, yeah.
I can understand why he's not there.
Yeah.
I couldn't even actually be in the room when we got our verdict.
Yeah.
It was by telephone.
All right, again, you're looking live in. Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what I need you to do, I need to give the forms back to you. When you find
that echo is not me.
Yeah, echo.
Turn it down, though.
You need to fill out the compensatory damages. It has to be at least $1 for compensatory damages, and up to whatever you feel the damages should be.
They're having some audio.
Oh, they're having
issues.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's them. It's not us.
At least $1 of compensatory and unlimited, essentially, for punitive.
Yeah, and again, Depp has got an uphill battle with
All right,
defamation.
so we'll be in recess till we hear back from them. Don't go too far, okay?
What the heck? Are you kidding me?
So the jury came in, and the judge was like, "You didn't fill out this shit."
Oh my God, guys!
Oh gosh.
Why weren't you? All right, so So the jury didn't do the paperwork appropriately. So they're doing
my
a recess.
goodness.
Well, that's
What the
okay.
heck, Gary?
Yeah, I know.
that's okay.
I know. They'll probably knock that out, and then
But okay, if the judge is like, "I can't read this verdict because you didn't fill out the damages."
Yes,
What?
I get what you're saying. Somebody's getting damages, but the question is it Amber or is it Johnny?
Yeah, because Amber was countersuing. They were both trying to get damages.
Yeah, they were both trying to get damages. So this could be this. It's I see where you're coming from, Karen, but unfortunately, they may have awarded Amber damages, which, my God, flashbacks for me.
Yeah. Well, they didn't award the other side damages. They just awarded them costs.
Yeah, they just awarded them costs because they didn't countersue because they had no freaking basis. But what we're referring to is I essentially ran afoul of a mean girl at a convention. She got me kicked out, then lied about me on her online feminist news platform, and I took them to court and I lost. And they had damages awarded, not damages, sorry, court costs awarded. Luckily, it was in small claims, so it's not going to utterly destroy me. But there you go. That's it in a nutshell.
And it's Canada, so it's like Canada generally costs are usually costs are, this person had to spend $100,000 defending themselves from your frivolous claim or whatever, your unprovable claim, the claim that you
Which
lost.
Is ridiculous, right? Because if it was a frivolous claim, why would the judge not have thrown it out at
No. But what I'm saying is, usually, typically, if a case goes to a verdict, in Canada, 10% is kind of the golden rule in Canada in terms of costs. So they spent $100,000 defending themselves. You pay them $10,000 to compensate them for their costs, right? But in the United States, like as far as Sargon went, when Aquila, obviously, or whatever her name was, when she sued him, a court in the U.S. Basically awarded him every single penny that he had paid to defend that lawsuit, because it was a frivolous lawsuit. But, you know, like U.S. courts are much more likely to actually assign costs that are close to or at what the winning party actually spent, right? In Canada, everything's much more moderated. We're much more polite. Oh, well, you know, you put this person out and made their life miserable for a year or 2 or 3 and made you spend a bunch of money. You get 10% back, right? 50% if it was frivolous or vexatious, right? It was completely groundless and just wasting everybody's time and money. But yeah. Oh, the garbage truck just went by.
Yeah, and also we're learning more and more that the Canadian judicial system and political system are absolutely corrupt, to be honest.
Well, every legal system, every system is going to be corruptible, and it's just a matter of time before it becomes corrupt. So,
although I think that their argument is to be made that Trudeau has turned Canada into the test case for the WEFs.
No, I was just telling someone today. So there was this guy, and he was like a bigwig in his government, and then like settlement fire, and so this guy was like, okay, so I'm going to basically invoke the Emergencies Act, and you guys just have to vote on whether I can keep it in place, or, you know, Parliament just has to let me know whether I can keep it in place indefinitely or whether, you know, I can't. And yeah, he had a mustache that up until the point where he existed, it was called a Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, but he invoked an emergency. He took emergency power, and the Parliament voted to let him. And, well, that didn't turn out too well, did it?
No. And it's like it. You know what?
But you know what? At least setting the Parliament building on fire was an actual emergency.
Yeah,
was an actual fucking crime.
Yeah,
no matter who did it.
Our PM did an Emergencies Act, which is basically the War Measures Act, except even worse because it's not clear what it is.
To quash a sit-in.
A sit-in.
Yeah, to quash a sit-in where there was not a single broken window.
Yeah, it was pretty egregious, and also there were lots of arrests, but no charges laid. They're pursuing lawfare against Tamara Litch, who was one of the organizers, and the things that actually the judge that recently oversaw her bail hearing, that she had violated bail and should go back to jail, actually said that this is what did he call it? Activist. Like the judge who sent her to jail was doing so out of political reasons. I'm pretty sure that he said that, and that the judge. This is like, in my opinion, I don't think this was the judge's opinion in this, but it's the Canadian judicial system is rife with.
Well, basically, what the bail conditions were. Was that if she wanted to stay out of jail, she couldn't talk about the subject publicly ever.
Yeah.
Right?
And she couldn't receive an award by a third party and say, I will accept this reward, because that's promoting the Freedom Convoy. But the judge threw it out, so she's still out on bail for
That's good.
counseling mischief, which essentially means that she didn't actually engage in mischief. She just organized a protest which could interfere with people's ability to use their property. Suddenly, property rights are really important.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and because she was part of the organization, and this is the only thing they can get them on, is just interfering with people using their property, which incidentally, that defines every sit-in through protesting history. In fact, it defines every protest through protesting history.
Yeah, no, it also
It's just made protests illegal in Canada. Congratulations.
Okay, you know what they're doing around my house right now? Okay, across the street, the street, because we get streets and avenues, right? Across the street, I'm on a corner lot. No alley access. Street, no parking allowed, because they're replacing the sidewalks. So my neighbor across the street, who has 5 fucking vehicles, even though there's only 2 people in the household, right? He's got all his vehicles parked along the street. Okay, so I can't find a place to park, right? And then and we can't park on the other side of the street yet. They just started digging up the avenue behind my driveway, right? On the side that my driveway's on, right? So I literally have no way to take my garbage out. It's garbage day today. That's why I said, oh, the garbage truck just rolled by. Well, and it didn't take my garbage because I have nowhere to put my garbage, because I have no way to get my garbage where it needs to go unless I want to walk 3 blocks down with my garbage can.
All right, I just wanted to say we have a bunch of people that have recently joined the live stream. 215 viewers currently. And I just wanted to let them know, because I think some of them are trying to figure out what's going on. So the jury did not properly fill out some paperwork regarding the trial. And so they're not able to give us their verdict yet. They're currently doing a recess while those people fill out the paperwork. So, just so you guys, in case you're wondering why we haven't heard anything yet, that's why. The jury kind of dropped the ball on some technical stuff.
Damages.
Yeah, and in addition to that, Alison, Great Indoors 1979 has been trying to get my attention.
Yeah, I got that.
All right,
I got that.
So
I saw that. So I want to say we did make the last $55, which was, I believe, put in by Great Indoors. So thank you, Great Indoors. You put us over the top. And we also got an additional $5 from someone called ALM. That's the first part of your email address. I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to inadvertently dox anyone. So yay, we've gotten over the top for the month of May. Nice. Very appreciated for everybody who supported. I want to do a few shout outs to supporters. I have them listed on my handy board. First of all, I want to do a shout out to Vesa from Dark Moon, who gave us $500. And I believe if it is she, you have to correct me, is the highest donor to our fundraiser this month. So thank you, Vesa from Dark Moon. And then I also want to thank Mrs. Anne of Arc, who gave us $150, and I want to thank her because she's also a fairly substantial patron. Thank you, Mrs. Anne of Arc. And Meredith G, the original gangster Meredith G, who always puts a little bit in the hat for each of our streams, gave us $200. So thank you, Meredith G.
Thank you, Meredith.
Yep. And Emma H is a new subscriber, $5 a month. So thank you, Emma H. And then I do want to do a shout out to Egregious Charles, because every month he always feels like he doesn't support enough. And I just want to say that everybody supports what they can. So nobody can, everybody support is enough. And of course, if you are unable to support in terms of financial resources, we really appreciate a share, because I know that can be difficult to do as well, to share this content, because we're pretty damn controversial. In fact, I think we're the most controversial content out there on the tubes. So thank you, Egregious Charles. Special, you're always giving exactly the right. And I also want to give a thank you to Hyper Chicken, who did somewhere between 250 to 400 this month. I cannot tell because he constantly changes his username. So thank you for whatever amount you gave. Sorry?
Unbelievable. Why would he do that?
Yeah, okay. And also thank you to our new sub, Andy D. Hopefully that's okay to say that, who is a new sub. Thank you for coming on board as a patron. And also thank you for putting 350 into the fundraiser for the month. Really appreciated.
Wow.
And Silver Crow is always good for 250. Dragon Noodle Soup, 250. He usually helps out every month. Safe Demon, 300. Again, usually helps out every month, so thank you so much. And Technojade for 300. Thank you, Technojade.
Wow.
He must be having a really good month. And because he has his own stuff, but he always gives us a little bit each month. So I really appreciate that from Technojade. Let's see if I got everyone. Oh yes, and new sub, Mr. L at $5 a month. So thank you, everyone. Thank you all of the people who helped us out for the fundraiser, and thank you to all of our new subs. It's very much appreciated to be able to continue to do this work and bring attention to the importance of men's issues.
The judge is back. The judge is back. So let me just throw a thank you out there for everybody who helped out. And why isn't it playing?
Thank you very much. That's really nice. Thank you.
All right.
Wow, we got a lot of trolls in the chat today. That's unusual.
Well, there's a lot of new people because we're streaming. Oh, hey, hit like for us, guys. It helps us, essentially reach more people while we're live. We can get in more trolls. Why not? They can all come here and show us how much they don't care about this. It's like steps. Wow, I didn't know Elaine was so small.
Yeah, she's little.
Smash that like. We're doing good.
I don't know if I can handle this. I'm gonna freaking have a panic attack.
Oh, stop.
All right, Mr. Foreperson, is this the verdict of the jury?
Yes.
All right, is it unanimous? Yes. Thank you, sir. Jamie?
Oh, dear.
In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard. 1. As to the statement appearing in the online op-ed entitled, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition, quote, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Ooh.
Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes.
Oof.
Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Oh,
Whoa!
2.
I like how
Oh
I
my
like how
God.
Hearing in the op-ed entitled "A Transformative Moment for Women" in the Washington Post print edition and the online op-ed, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change, in the Washington Post online edition. Quote, then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes.
whoa.
Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances
demolished.
surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes. 3. As to the
Patriarchy wins this
appearing
day.
in an op-ed entitled "A Transformative Moment for Women" in the Washington Post print edition and the online op-ed, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change, in the Washington Post online edition. Quote, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of this statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Oof. It's just.
As
Wow.
against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million. As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $5 million. In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Ms. Heard's claim against Mr. Depp. 1. As to this statement, appearing in the April 8, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, Amber Heard and her friends in the media use fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some of her sexual violence hoax facts as the sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no. 2. As to this statement appearing in the April 27, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt did not do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911, end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Ms. Heard proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, Mr. Waldman, while acting as an agent for Mr. Depp, made or published the statement? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was seen by someone other than Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven by clear and convincing evidence that the statement by Mr. Waldman was made with actual malice? Answer, yes. 3. As to this statement appearing in the April 27th, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, "We've reached the beginning of the end of Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp," end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $2 million. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $0.
Does either side wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Jamie?
Members of the jury, if this is your verdict, please answer yes. If this is not your verdict, please answer no. Juror number 6. Yes. Juror number 10. Yes. Juror number 15. Yes. Juror number 16. Yes. Juror number 22. Yes. Juror number 27. Yes. Juror number 29.
Yes. All right. I do find that the jury's verdict is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your service in this case. I want to thank you again for your dedication and your hard work during this trial. And I know I speak for everybody here when I tell you that we appreciate your sacrifices and your time and your public service in this matter. Okay, so I'm going to have you go back to the
Good job, Camille.
room for one more time, and then we'll release you from there. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, so she owes him $15 million for lying. He owes her $1 million.
Like $2 million, right? Or something like that. Are you guys there? You're breaking up. Oh crap! Discord went down for a second, guys. You just don't know with Discord. It's just goofy. At least it waited until the whole thing was over. Give me a second. It's starting up. Just give me a second. I apologize. Waiting on Discord because it just felt like crashing for some reason. Just a moment. Here, oh, there we go. You guys are back. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Discord just decided to shit the pot, so
okay,
give me a second.
Are we well then just reframe everything and then we'll do our commentary. I am definitely interested to find out what Karen thinks about the counterclaim. What I wanted to point out is I think that is the first time that I saw Amber Heard genuinely look upset.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She actually really did look upset. I think the jury giving her a little bit on her counterclaim, that some things that Johnny Depp and his agents said were not provably true, right? Like that she'd orchestrated a hoax. Yes, she lied, but did she orchestrate a hoax? But I think it really is kind of a way of saying, well, but really, never mind. It's, when women make things up, Yeah, sure, maybe it's out of malice and, actual malice, and maybe it's with intent to harm and all of that stuff. But you can't actually call them malicious. Because if you did, then it would have a chilling effect on women reporting sexual and domestic violence. And we can't have that, can we? And it's just like, what?
Yeah. And
So
well,
that
the other
was,
thing is that
it surprised me, given how, like, it was yes, all the way
look,
down the line.
Mila's doing the victory.
What did she do?
She's doing. Well, no, she's just ahead of everyone. They're doing like the.
Yeah, no, but they're like, okay, but like, okay, so like, yes, Johnny Depp was in the right. She did lie. She knew it was a lie. She did it with actual malice, out of animus, hoping to cause reputational damage, right? And cause him significant damage in terms of his career and all of that stuff. Oh my Jesus. And sorry about Zoidberg there, but a friend of mine is just calling me at the worst possible fucking time. But
yeah,
probably about the results of this. Maybe
no, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. It's a close friend.
Okay.
But
okay, all right.
Yeah, not one of my my online pseudo friends like you guys.
Yeah,
but
right. Of course not.
Yeah, no. But he doesn't watch my channel or follow me on social media. So, but anyway, so you have this situation where they had to hand her something because
the other thing
you can't believe a woman. You can't actually say a woman was 100% in the wrong. Like there had two sides to it, right? And I'm just like, you know what? Okay, he does drugs. He's a drunk. Okay, he drunk at 8 a.m. right when she severed his finger throwing a vodka bottle at him or whatever the fuck it was, right? Okay, okay, he's got his problems.
He's got demons,
right? But,
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, like, we didn't see any of the preamble. She, like, selectively cut a bunch of footage out of the video that she uploaded for public consumption. And, because you never saw her throw the vodka. You never saw how his finger was severed.
Right.
You just saw him after his finger was severed, writing his name in blood on the freaking wall.
Allegedly.
Or
they don't know the substance. They don't even know if it was her or him because it was in her handwriting. But I just wanted to point something out here. Apparently, I'm pretty sure it wasn't actually that particular thing wasn't because of Johnny's actions. It was because of another individual alleging the hoax and then getting it published. I'm not sure how Johnny was contributing to that. Maybe somebody in the chat can explain it to us. But apparently and the thing is that, again, if you have to prove a hoax like that, you really have to have your ducks in order. And it's quite difficult to prove. So
yeah, well, it is difficult to prove something didn't happen. That's why we have a burden of proof. And the burden is on the plaintiff. But effectively, I think it was just a way for the jury to be like, oh, well, she's a woman. Like, she couldn't have really. I mean, we know she did it out of malice, and we know she did all of these bad things out of malice, right? But there's two sides. There's two sides to everything, and it's like, and the truth has to be somewhere in between. And no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Right. It doesn't. Well, both sides is like it is like the most common argument that I see. So I'm not surprised that that everything was like down the line, but then when it came time to award the money and I saw that he didn't get what he was asking, like everything he was asking for, I'm not that surprised by that, because I do think, just like what you said, Karen, like the jury is likely going to think, well, we have evidence of, you know, abuse against Johnny Depp, but that doesn't mean that there isn't evidence out there somewhere that proves abuse of Amber Heard, right? That maybe possibly he did, you know, or the way that the jury thinks of abuse. Maybe they're just like, well, yelling can be abusive, you know, just like cutting off a piece of somebody's finger. Or,
this was not an abuse case, though. It was a defamation case.
No, it was a defamation case, but I think that
it was a counter claim of defamation on, you know, that she made against him, right? So he basically said, yeah, no, she concocted all this bullshit. The jury saw through that, right? Until it came time to actually punish her.
Well, no, they punished her. They punished her for the things that she concocted about Johnny Depp, but in terms of the allegation that she engaged in a hoax with her little band of
doesn't the verdict in Depp's favor? Doesn't the so maybe it wasn't her publicist and her lawyer that, you know, like maybe there wasn't sufficient evidence that her publicist and her lawyer convinced her to perpetuate the hoax, but she did perpetuate a hoax. They decided that when they decided in his favor that he hadn't done any of these things she was alleging, right? So she did perpetrate a hoax. She just, you know, like there was, like, frankly, I think her publicist and her lawyer should have been awarded damages, not her.
Yeah.
I have some.
Right? Because they were the ones who were defamed by that claim, not her.
No, I agree. But now you're talking about two sort of like brands, like you know, and I'm not sure how that would work.
She's not a brand. She's not.
Well, she's brand shit. Okay.
All she has in her pocket is Aquaman and Me Too. That's
and
it.
also pooping on a bed. So maybe she could do enzyme removal in the future.
Yeah, and then blaming it on the Chihuahua.
Were they Chihuahuas?
I don't know.
I thought they were Shih Tzus. I think they were Shih Tzus.
Whatever. Johnny Depp said that the turd was half the size of the dog.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, we know that. Okay, but I got some super chats. I want to read them before they disappear, because sometimes they disappear. So I'm going to read them. Zeranx gives us $5 and says, mega pints for all. So let's all get mega pints.
Well, it is overall a victory. It is overall.
Yeah. Overall it is. It says... Well, let me finish, and then you guys can talk about what the issue is. Roll 4 Initiative gives us $5 and says the real question: what is Kevin's take on this? I think he howled or something, or bayed.
Kevin is a girl. Stop misgendering her.
Yeah.
And she's down in the fucking crate. You know what? I've actually trained her. I say, let's go, Brandon, and she just follows me right down the stairs to get crated.
It sounds like a threat. Richard Bier gives us $4.99 and says, the argument that false accusations shouldn't be punished reminds me of the apartment building with false fire alarms going off. Then an actual fire happens, alarm ignored. Richard Bier then gave another super chat for $1.99 to finish that statement. All right, thank you guys for the super chats. Really appreciate it. Okay, now you guys can talk about whether or not this is a win. Oh, well, there are. Okay. All right then.
Yeah. Let me do the super chows, and we can dissect all of this. We can also dissect the implications for the average man.
Alison?
It is
It's-
our own personal, like, because YouTube keeps screwing us, I just decided to
Oh,
direct
okay.
people. And I did a
All
whole
right.
bunch of jiggering with macros or bots or something, and I got it so that WooCommerce speaks to Discord, which
Oh,
was like I do these things and and then I don't remember how I did them because
that's okay. That's okay. I just want it like Super Chow. Is that like on
yeah.
Subscribestar or what?
Oh, okay. Okay, all right, yeah.
Or
So
Odyssey?
no, this is ours. Like this is what I
Oh.
created for our system because I am obsessed with as much financial autonomy from these platforms as possible
Yeah,
because
no.
they
I
always
get it.
do weird crap.
Yeah,
Like, and if you want
you know what my last 6 months of Google AdSense payment was?
what?
Oh,
$318.
Yeah, they're doing all kinds of they're taking
Yeah.
like YouTube
They're
takes
not
like
just
50%
taking
now.
they're not just taking the money, right? It's like they're putting ads on my videos, but they don't
Mhm.
give me any of that money because my videos are apparently not monetizable. They're not advertiser friendly, except that
And
they
yet
put
they still
ads on them.
advertise. Yeah, it's their
Yeah,
scam.
they put
It's
ads
their
on them
scam.
and then they just take 100%.
It's just like all of the so-called social justice woke stuff always
Yeah.
seems to end up supporting whatever corporations
Grubbing for
want.
the money and
Yeah, whatever improves the corporate bottom line or the corporate government collusion bottom line. It's
Yeah.
getting But anyway, so if you want to send us a super chow, which goes directly to us, the message goes to us, so there's no YouTube or PayPal because PayPal does this too. Like somebody sent me a message through PayPal, and PayPal was like, "What is this?" This person mentioned terrorism, and they did it in the context of like just like news. And PayPal was like, I'm gonna look
Put
at
this
this
on
very
hold.
carefully.
Yeah.
Put this on hold and examine the person that sent this to you. And I'm like, yeah, don't do this again. don't send these messages through there again. But so the messages go directly to us. The only censorship is whether or not we want to say, read out War and Peace or say like the bad words multiple times.
Completely fucked up thing that comes out of your brain when you're typing.
Yeah,
drunk.
mostly our super chowers and super chatters just tell us things that are so confusing that we can't.
Yeah,
It's like,
no.
what is this
what?
black speech?
they
Like,
make really, 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 really obscure references.
Yeah, what does
Yeah.
And
that
so
even
I'm just
mean?
like, yeah, I haven't.
for our audience is like the average IQ of our audience is like 180 or something. Here, let us send you physics references.
Yeah.
Okay, well that doesn't.
You want to hear an astrophysics joke? No. It's probably too dense.
Okay, good. That was.
Yeah, if we actually laugh into it, it will become a singularity.
Okay, all right. So these are our super chows. If you want to join our super chowers, which means you send these messages. They have no censorship involved in them except for reasonable amount that we might do, usually for length, and also we get the full benefit of whatever you send. You can go to feedthebadger.com/just the tip.
Just the tip,
Mm-hmm.
gentlemen.
Okay, so
just the tip. Nothing
Scoop.
else.
Right.
Scoop gives us $20 and says, really appreciate all that you do. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Scoop. Scoop then gives us another $25 and says, if it weren't for JD's fame and Amber Heard's hubris, there never would have been a televised trial. Even with this verdict, without the televised trial, he wouldn't have been cleared in public opinion. Most men never get this chance. Yeah, this is something that's really critical for people to understand. Johnny Depp was able to fight back against the system because he had wealth and fame and lots of people that love him.
Because he's Johnny Depp. Yeah.
Because he's Johnny Depp. The average man does not have a chance. Unless they're a sociopath, because sociopaths can manipulate literally anything.
Yeah, or an Amate basically told me, you know what it takes to be a man who screws a woman in the ways that, these ways, false accusation, gets the children taken away and all of that, and absolutely destroys her. He has to be a very charming, very intelligent sociopath. What a woman needs to be in order to do that to a man is a woman. She needs to be a woman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still like a lot of women probably won't do it because they're not quite that nasty.
It's not a matter of every woman would. It's a matter of any woman could.
Could do it. Yeah, definitely. So that was from Scoop, and like we were saying, this is a one-off because Depp had so much in his court, and he's still this was still obviously horribly traumatic for him.
And the contracts that were canceled for him, they amounted to more than $50 million. $50 million.
There's another thing too. It's a good thing that Depp, but based on the the evidence as we've seen it, never appeared to have retaliated, even in self-defense against Heard. Because if he had, then that would have been the story. Even if he was trying to protect himself from her, right? It's a good thing that he had. I mean, he either knows that is bad for the system, or he has a deep sense of, a desire to protect women, so he won't do it. But because he never acted on it, I think that saved his ass, like in a big way. Never even to defend himself. And it's also, I think was it Kate Moss that used to date him, and she stuck up for him and said he never did anything like that to me.
And Parody, what's her name?
I think I know. I don't know her name though.
Yeah, Diane. She was married to him.
Yeah.
Diane Parody. But they actually were like, he's got his problems, but this was never one of them. And when your exes get in a line to defend you against these kinds of accusations, that's because every single ex of every single man has an itemized freaking list of everything they ever did fucking wrong, right? Like, every fucking time he bought you a vacuum cleaner on Mother's Day, right? Okay, every fucking time he was a jerk to you, every freaking time, right? And all the ways in which he is an asshole. And the fact that his exes came, and multiple exes went to bat for him and said, that's not Johnny. That's just not who he is. And the fact that, in fact, from what I got from that video that she uploaded, right, heavily edited video that she uploaded of that altercation in the kitchen, right? I'm looking at that because I watched it when it first came out. I'm watching that. I'm going, oh, she just fucking probably spent the last 45 minutes gaslighting the fuck out of that guy. Right?
Yeah.
Like she's trying to provoke a response, and then she's gonna film it, and she still couldn't get anything on him. She couldn't get any kind of where he actually hit her. I think he threw her phone across the room or something like that. But other than that, it was like she couldn't get anything on tape, and they were told by their counselor. They were told by their marriage counselor to record all their conversations.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying that was the best she was able to muster, was him slamming cabinet doors. And so go ahead.
One moment in that, when she's doing this recording, he says, "You want to see crazy?" So I'm guessing that he knew that she was trying to bait him into doing something.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You want to see crazy? You want to see crazy?" And he picks up a wine bottle and picks up a glass, and he pours himself a very large glass of wine, and then is about to walk off when he notices the camera.
Yeah.
And people have pointed out that he picks up the camera, he puts it into a garbage can or something.
Yeah.
Right? If he was actually abusive, he would have retaliated against her at that moment.
Yeah.
And and he would also have made sure that he would have taken the camera and deleted everything. But instead, he just threw it into a garbage and ran away from her, and she chased him.
Yep.
You know, and this, I'm gonna go crazy, and he pours himself a gigantic glass of wine. I'm gonna go crazy with wine.
Oh, I want to see somebody reenact that with an actual, like, cartoonishly large glass of wine, like a big,
like this,
like a big.
Yeah.
No,
Not
I
big
mean
enough.
like an actual, like a gigantic, like the size of a table, and they
You need
drag
an
it
oil
out,
barrel.
and
I'll
they
show
get
you
like
Oil
a
barrel.
Here,
big old barrel.
I'll show you crazy.
The whole box, yeah. Mega pint.
Go
Yeah.
crazy for us, Karen.
All right.
Yeah, so I thought that was just hilarious because he's like, he knows what she's trying to do there.
Yeah.
He's saying, you want to see crazy? I'm going to pour myself an excessively large glass of wine, and I'm going to leave you in this room, you damn trumpet.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go into the bedroom or the
Just
den
gonna,
or
like,
something
tip it.
and lock the door and wait
Yeah.
for you to go
So
away.
you can't follow me. Oh man!
All right, what's the last?
That's really telling. Yeah.
What's the last super chow? Did you read it already?
Oh yes. Yes.
Okay.
No, I didn't read it. I need
Yeah.
to get to it.
I think
got
it's
a
from
little
Great
confused.
Indoors. I got some
Oh, no
super
doubt.
chats too.
Yes. Okay. There we go. The Great Indoors gives us $5 and says, "I wonder if Johnny is going to play Castles Made of Sand with Jeff Beck on stage tonight as a tribute." Huh.
I don't know. What
I
is
don't know.
What is Depp doing in the UK right now? Probably getting a job.
Oh, there's another interesting thing that's happened in it's not really super men's rights, but it's men's rights adjacent. The human rights.
Oh,
Commissioner?
ACLU? ACLU?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, in the Ukraine, she was apparently making up stories about Russians raping babies and dogs and trees. And it was found out that she had no evidence of it, and she was removed from her post because she allegedly was because of what she was saying, she wasn't doing her job. Yeah.
Raping a tree. Who's the victim here? Is it the tree? Is it the tree, or is it the guy, or is it the guy who ends up with the slivers in his dick?
That friction creates, Karen. That friction creates global warming. So
but
it may be highly localized.
Woodpeckers do it.
Well.
Squirrels do it. They poke holes in trees. They make holes in trees, and then they penetrate those holes.
The Russians.
You heard it here. Karen thinks woodpeckers rape trees.
They do. They do. Absolutely. I don't think those trees
what nature
consented to be
is.
pecked.
It's like everything's trying to fuck, eat, or kill.
I don't think the tree consented to pecked. And I really don't think that the city tree that fell on my car consented to be pecked by woodpeckers to the point where it fell over in the wind and landed on my car.
Man.
And totaled it.
This is the new men's rights issue.
Yeah, this is the great. Well, we've solved defamation. No, I'm kidding.
Actually, honestly, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the fact that people like us have been banging away at this drum has made a difference socially. Because I've seen in the Johnny Depp tags people making the same arguments that we make.
Yeah, they're hearing them somewhere, and we talk to people, and those people may not be interested in the purely, MRA sort of perspective, it gets adapted. It gets adopted into their everyday observations, and they're probably also had experience with men who have been screwed over.
Yes.
So it's easy for them to conclude, well, wait a minute. I mean, you could see this going back a ways too, But what
Yeah,
was the
no,
great
it's
indoors?
well,
Go ahead.
we weren't trying, like, you don't, people who are like, they don't have the temperament to become activists, right? Will
Yeah.
still listen,
Yeah.
right? They'll still listen, and then they see it, right? Once they've basically been given permission to see it and make note of it, right? To not just to see it, but to notice it and to be like, oh, this is actually not okay, right? Then they.
Yes.
Oh, I think we
Aaron
lost her. I think
froze.
we lost her.
Yeah,
I think we lost her.
she may have crashed.
Okay, so
actually,
just
you did read Great Indoors' thing.
yes, I did.
Deserve.
Yeah.
Okay,
To
Karen,
get,
we missed
like they
about
didn't do anything
30
to deserve them. Deserve it.
Yeah, we missed about 30 seconds. I think what you were saying, I think there's a lot of women even who've come out with this Johnny Depp thing, and of course they're being absolutely raked over the coals by feminists who are calling them Deppford wives, and they have internalized misogyny, and they're pick-me's, and they're setting women's rights back, I don't know, however many centuries.
I've never heard anything like that before, Alison.
Yeah, that seems like a brand new talking point.
A lot of women, I think this has been a touch point for a lot of women because they know a man in their life who's gone through this. So they get to sort of vicariously experience a man having successfully fought back against a female accuser. And then there are women who have experienced abuse by other women. And then there are the women who, regardless of the gender, like if their abuser was male or female, they recognize that abuser in Amber Heard's behavior. And like when I was watching the closing arguments, I wasn't just listening to the closing arguments. I was watching Amber Heard and Johnny Depp and reacting. Amber Heard was grinning, and it was that narcissistic smirk, that contemptuous, asymmetrical, duping delight smirk as she was looking over at Johnny Depp. And I think that she was doing that quite a bit. And in my opinion, she was actually enjoying his discomfort because he was a narcissist.
He's sitting there listening to her lawyers bad mouthing him.
And even when Camille was up there, he was rocking back and forth. He was playing with his hands. His head was down. He was turtling. And if you watch his breathing, he was on either fighting a panic attack or on the brink of one. He was showing symptoms of trauma, and I swear to God, she was feeding off of it.
Oh yeah, no, she was like
I'm
enjoying
not
every
surprised
minute.
he wasn't there for the verdict.
Yeah, no, because I think that he was probably thinking that it wasn't going to go his way. Yeah. And if it didn't go his way, it would have just been absolutely. And then to sit there
agonizing,
and to sit there agonizing in the lead up, right, and then to see her smirk at him from the other side when the jury basically said, well, we're actually going to give $100 million to Amber Heard, payable, payable by Johnny Depp. There's nothing that can prepare you for anything like that.
No.
And so you don't want to be there. And so, and I think she thought she had it in the bag.
Yeah. Well, she's like a lot of narcissists. She lives in her own world. But like I said, I could see her smirking, and it was like she was feeding off of his expressions of trauma. And they say that people who are sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissists, and abusers, they can tell just from your body language and your gait whether or not you're an abuse victim. She probably picked up on that with him and picked up on the fact that he was really panicked during the closing arguments. So I don't hold it against him that he wasn't. I honestly don't think anybody should have expected him to be there, because if it had gone south for him, that could have ended his life if he was there and she got that last bit of
Yeah.
look at how much I can fuck you.
Yep.
And like that would have been just too much to bear. And I hope that he is never in his life again. And he never has to think about her or look at her.
Well, lucky him, they don't have
he's-
any kids, do they?
No, they don't.
No. He is gonna have to, like, and I hope he does, think about how he ended up with someone like Heard in the first place, because a part of it is that, you know, men need to be more discerning when it comes to women and their relationships and their friendships. And if Johnny Depp is living the kind of lifestyle that brings a woman like Amber Heard into his circle, then he puts himself at some risk. So he may have to, like, really think about this, because, you know, there's going to be other women.
I think the problem with both men and women is that what those of us who are more knowledgeable about things like narcissism, Machiavellian traits, dark triad traits, all of those things, those are all really exciting.
Yeah.
Right? A borderline, whether they're a male or a female, is, you know, like, it's like my husband once said, it's the crazy ones who are really good in bed. Right? Because they bring all of the drama that they bring to every mundane aspect of life, every single thing, from whose turn it is to do the dishes to, you know, you forgot to take out the trash, right? They bring that drama into the bedroom, right? And everything seems so desperate and so intense, and so you're on this precipice all the time of, you know, of intense emotionality, and it's extremely addictive. Those are red flags, right? But they're also extremely attractive to people who are naive, who don't see them as red flags. And so you're looking at a situation where I don't even.
It's the perception, or the way he gives himself. Oh, are we lose? Will we lose him at her again? Okay, well, I think it's also the way that he carries himself, because you can sort of sense that there's. And I was reading a comment by another man who met with Johnny Depp, and it was just a random meeting, and Johnny actually expressed interest in the things that he was dealing with, and he talked about how he was having trouble with a job, he was almost homeless, but not Johnny Depp, the guy he was talking to. And then the man afterwards said, but there was such a sadness in Johnny Depp. He actually felt bad for Johnny. And it's that kind of sadness, that kind of closed-offedness, this soft-spokenness, you know, that's what abusers hone in on. So it isn't necessarily that abuse victims choose abusers. It's that the abusers choose them. And so, I mean, he can change his lifestyle, so hopefully that he's not making himself vulnerable by getting high.
Oh, look at the headline. Amber Heard wins $2 million against Johnny Depp.
Well, then
okay,
it
there we
switched.
go. All right.
The law and crime, I think they seem just to be very neutral on this, which is, you know, better than I could have asked for. Yeah, on this and on this. I don't know what other things. So
there were a bunch of other things that were absolutely fucking retarded.
Oh yeah, no, we've looked at a few thought pieces, and by the way, brace yourselves. The thought pieces are coming about this verdict too. Holy shit!
You can hear them galloping towards.
Yep, I can hear them typing furiously on their keyboards right now. This is like the biggest L. It's the most public L that the media in particular, and Me Too, is going to take. Yes, this is a massive L for Me Too.
Oh no, and the CBC and other mainstream outlets, right? You know, like sort of the cathedral media. I guess they're going to be talking
L's
about
in the chat.
How it's an injustice, right?
Yep.
Like it's an injustice against Amber Heard. It's why the court system is broken, and we need to completely revamp it.
Well, just get rid of it. Let's just jump to the hangings. Why are we wasting our time with all this due process stuff?
It's like the Gian Gomeshi trial, where they were just like, we decided he was guilty. We convicted him in the court of public opinion before the trial even started. And he had all this evidence, right, showing that the accusers were lying about everything. And, that just shows that the courts need to be reformed, so that no man could ever defend himself against a false allegation. And it's just like, what are we talking about here? Because, you're already looking at a system in Canada and in the United States where a sexual assault trial is treated differently, and domestic assault trial is treated differently from any other trial. It has a whole different set of evidentiary rules and all of this other crap, right? And then that all of the reforms have been, for the last 40, 50 years, have been in favor of the accuser and the prosecution, and not the defendant, against the defendant. And then they're just like, and we still can't freaking convict every fucking man who's been fingered, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means the system is broken, and we need to, we need basically to handle this in civil court with a balance of probabilities as the burden of proof, but the plaintiff doesn't have the burden of proof, the defendant does, and also we can put him in jail. We can't just fine him. We can't just make him pay damages. We get to take away his liberty and put him in frickin' prison, right? Like, I'm sorry, that's not how any other crime operates. It's only in the arena where it's a woman, typically a woman, who makes an accusation against a man.
Yep.
That's where we have all of these innovations, these incredible innovations that somehow still aren't enough, right, to satisfy these people. And I'm just like, oh my fucking God. Like, this poor guy, Gian Gomeshi, right? Okay, he made his bed. He took a women's studies program, right? Not a course, a program. He got a dual major in women's studies and some other fucking bullshit, right? And he was like, spent his entire career nibbling feminist cunt lips, right? Okay. On the radio, the flagship CBC radio program, that's what he did for a decade or more. Mm-hmm. He was insufferable. He was annoying. He was just such a smarmy little frickin' bastard, right? But I don't think he did what they said he did, right? Yep. And I can't stand that guy. I fucking hate that guy. Just like I'm no big fan of Johnny Depp, because he's all in with the whole,
sure.
We should have assassinated Trump kind of crowd, right?
Yeah, right. But I mean, I'll still stick up for him if I think he's being lied on, even if he wouldn't do the same.
Yeah, he's being lied about.
Yeah,
he's being lied about, and and it's like, if he did it, go to prison. If he didn't do it, she should be punished for making a false allegation. And that's just the way I see it. It's like people can't separate that. They can't separate their feelings about a person from, a lot of people. Gian Gomeshi, I 100% believe he did not do any of the things that he was accused of. And same with Johnny Depp. I don't think he ever laid a fucking finger on Amber Heard. And so I'll accuse him of all kinds of other bullshit that isn't necessarily a crime, but possibly could be considered a crime. But
I just wanted to say something. There are people in our chat saying the MSM is made by men, therefore pro Depp. It's like, are you nuts? There have been almost no pro Depp articles or commentary in the corporate media.
Where are you getting the idea that the MSM?
I just want to conclude this.
Yeah,
go ahead. Guys, just let me finish this thought, please. For the love of God, let me finish the thought. Okay, so there's no pro Depp bias, and here's the other thing. If you honestly think that there's any kind of institutional bias for men, consider this. If Amber Heard had been Arnold and that tape surfaced in which Arnold said, "Hey, babe, I don't know what my hand was doing, but I just hit you. I didn't punch you." It would have been over day one. No one would have stood with Arnold. And yet they all stood with Amber because she was a woman, and women are afforded the benefit of the doubt and huge amounts of institutional privilege when they play the victim. The world wants to protect damsels. That's the way the world is arranged. So when you play the victim as a woman, people come out of the woodwork to protect you and to make sure that your voice is heard.
If she hit him, she must have had a good reason. That's exactly. Really what it is. And it's like, so I'm looking at it like, okay, so the cathedral media, and I haven't really seen a whole lot of this trial covered on Fox News. So like, you can't even say that they're really even commenting on it. But all of the cathedral media, the mainstream media, has been in her pocket this whole time and talking about, oh, if Johnny Depp wins, it's going to be a bad day for women all across America.
The Me Too
blah,
movement
blah, blah.
is going to suffer. It's going to be the biggest victim.
Yeah, you know who has a pro Depp bias? People on social media, and it's not because they're predisposed to be on his side because of some patriarchal system. It's because they watched the fucking footage.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is footage and tapes that I heard years ago. Years ago. I watched the footage and heard the tape years ago. And I was just like, yeah, no, this accusation sounds like fucking complete bullshit. It's not passing my bullshit detector, right? It's setting my Geiger counter into the fucking, like millions of fucking rands or whatever they're called. And so I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. Social media, the fact that, and what these people in the comment section who are like, ooh, the mainstream media was on Depp's side. Yeah, no, there was maybe 1 out of 10 articles that were slightly
The Daily Mail might have been the most sympathetic. Yeah.
Yes, sympathetic towards Depp. And you're looking at a situation where the only people on his side are people who have no power other than the fact that they have a single account and a single voice that can be heard on social media. And that was it in the court of public opinion. That was all he had. And, they mostly came out on his side. And, it was because most people are not fucking retard.
Yep. All right. So, Alison, did you get to say you're muted? I don't know why.
Yes.
But
okay. Well, I wanted to say 100%. None of this would have happened. If Amber was Arnold, he would have been shut down day one by that recording. No one would have believed that he was the victim. Period. No. That's the institutional bias in favor of women. And the only thing that the institutions protected Depp for was the fact he was innocent. So all of these feminists coming out of the woodwork and saying, oh, institutions protected Johnny Depp. Yes, because he was innocent.
They're supposed to. They're supposed to.
That, like, literally, they don't want innocence to be protection for men against false accusations. That's what this is. They don't want innocence. Like, as soon as a woman makes
Oh.
an allegation, a man is guilty, and that is it. And the BBC. I'm going to send you the link. We discussed it. Oh God, that's a horrible link.
But it's like that one guy said, rape has become so dire a crime that not even innocence is a defense.
Yeah.
Right? And it's the same with domestic violence. Not even innocence is a defense.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so you want to create a world in which even innocent men can't be proven innocent. Like, what kind of world is that?
The fact that you could actually word it in that way, that even innocent men can't be proven innocent.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have to prove they're innocent. They have to be proven guilty.
Yeah, well, we're well past that. The fact that literally feminists are going to battle against the idea that an innocent man can prove himself innocent. That's where we're at. We've already lost the battle on assuming men are innocent. We're now at the battle of allowing innocent men to prove that they're innocent.
Yeah, in Canada, they've
really deep.
In Canada, they've basically barred by law after the Gomeshi trial. Ironically, but they didn't call it Gomeshi's law, right? But they've basically made it impossible for a man accused of sexual assault to mount an affirmative defense. So they've basically made it impossible for him to say, I can prove that she's lying about all of the material details about this. Here's my evidence. They're making it next to impossible for a man to even say that, to affirmatively defend his innocence, let alone fight against a presumption of guilt, right? So there's already a presumption of guilt. Now they're saying, well, you can't even provide evidence of your innocence, because that would actually be accusing her of a liar, and we all know women don't lie.
I want to tell you guys something while it's still fresh. Amber Heard was approached for comment on the verdict, and this is what she said, according to Deadline. She said, I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband, Heard said in a statement. I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for, guess, other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. I believe Johnny's attorneys succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that we won in the UK. I am sad that I lost this case.
Now she cares. Now she cares about freedom of speech.
But I'm sadder still that I seem to have lost a right I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly. Alison, you're muted. I don't know if you know that. Alison, you're muted.
I am going to drive this point into the ground. I'm going to drill it all the way into the freaking core of the earth. If Amber was Arnold, and that recording surfaced where Arnold said, hey, babe, I don't know what my hand was doing, but I didn't punch you. I just hit you. There would be none of this. It would have been over day one. Jane, that is Johnny, would have been defended by all of the things that ended up defending Amber, including her innocence. All right? This is ridiculous. It is every allegation of some kind of systematic bias against Amber. Bullshit. By that one simple thought experiment, just make her a man and make that man have a recording of him admitting to having hit his wife. And you ask yourself, how far would this have gotten? And the answer is it would have been shut down within a fucking hour. It would have gone no further than that. No further. A day, and Arnold would have been erased from the map. And yet Amber wasn't. Amber, who admitted to hitting her husband, wasn't erased from the map in that first day. She wasn't gone from the map in that first day. She was allowed to continue to engage in abusive behavior against him for 6 years. 6 years. And you talk about rendering victims of domestic violence invisible. This system empowered an abuser to continue to abuse her victim for 6 damn years. And if it was a he, would have been shut down on day one. Mm-hmm. You guys can go and blow it out your stupid asses, because you are absolutely 100% wrong about the situation. And it's only going to get worse if we don't fight back. And I'm afraid to tell you, but half of the victims of domestic violence are men, and I think they should have a voice as well. And right now they have none. They have less than a voice. So don't just narrowly look at the female victims of domestic abuse. You have to look at all victims of domestic abuse and advocate for all of them. Otherwise, you advocate for none of them. You just advocate for your own distorted view of reality and your own fucked up narrative that is empowering abusers as we speak to continue to abuse and to continue to drag their victims through the mud.
Oh, and not just abuse their male partners, not just to abuse their male or their female partners, but also to abuse their children. So, like, all you got to do when you're divorcing is make an accusation that, oh, well, he never actually hit any of us, but I feel afraid of him. And and you get the house and the kids, and 6 months later, when he finally gets to defend himself in court, the judge will say, well, there's really, kids have gotten used to the new routine, where they don't actually have a dad, so there's really no reason to disrupt their lives further. That's like common practice in family law. Common practice. So.
Yep. I have some super chats, but Alison's trying to talk again.
Okay, this whole situation infuriates me. It infuriates me on multiple levels, and I am going to articulate every single one of them, so strap in. All right, 1, it ignores male victims. It causes additional institutional secondary trauma to male victims to have to engage in a system that is actively biased against them to the point where they get arrested more often than their female abusers. Okay, that's horrifying to me, because I care about men and I care about male victims of domestic violence. And I think they should have a voice, and I think they should have service, or at the very least, people should actually believe them if they're not in a position of causing, like if you're a juror, or if you're a policeman, or you're someone in power who can cause further harm, of course you need to be skeptical and believe the evidence. But if you're providing some kind of service, if you're a healthcare worker, if you're a social worker, you should believe someone's victimhood, and in order to help them get through that. Okay, so there's a difference there, different responses based on where you're at in the situation. But we have a situation where those individuals tasked by our society to take care of domestic violence victims, not to persecute aggressors, but take care of them, actively mock male domestic violence victims. There is enough of a percentage of them that it turns men off of going to therapists and social workers. Right? Because they don't know if they're going to be received with any kind of compassion, or if they're going to be mocked for having any kind of vulnerability or so-called failure. All right, that's number 1. Our treatment of male victims of domestic violence and sexual assault is appalling. It is not a first world behavior. I'll put it that way. It is not worthy of what we call ourselves an advanced civilization. Yeah, no, we aren't, at least when it comes to this. Number 2, it doesn't do actual victims, female victims of sexual assault and violence, any favors. Because any system, for some reason, any system that isn't incentivized, doesn't prioritize, and isn't optimized for finding evidence doesn't seem to actually help women with evidence on their side. It actually seems to help male sociopaths, because sociopaths seem to work any kind of bias in any kind of system except one, and that is a system that looks at evidence. So you are actually making it harder for genuine female victims of violence when they're up against a male sociopath. If you had a system that 100% was evidence, just the facts, ma'am, you would be helping those female victims better than what you have now. Okay. And what I noticed about male sociopaths is they can do a wonderful song and dance about how, yeah, I'm a feminist, I believe, blah, blah, blah. And then they provide cover for their actual behavior. I've seen that time and time again. All right. So that's the other thing. This system doesn't help female victims find justice. Okay. Number 3, this system that feminists have created incentivizes putting their ideology and their belief system about men being abusers or being defined as abusers and women being defined as victims ahead of actually reducing the problems they say that they want to advocate to reduce. I'm going to use an example here. In the 80s, there was a discussion among feminists whether or not they would pursue therapeutic interventions into the issue of rape. So that is giving men who are at risk of rape, or even youths who are at risk of being rapists or engaging in non-consensual sexual violence, interventions, therapies that addressed the cognitive deficits and the abuse that they suffered in order to reduce the rate at which they rape. So reduce the number of men who rape and subsequently the number of women who rape. And then on the other side, feminists said, but we could promote our narratives. We could promote this idea of rape culture, that rape is a systemic social issue, that all men contribute to it. You know, we could promote these narratives that give us control over over media, over academia, that give us control over particular industries. You know, we could promote these narratives. They have not shown to actually reduce the rate at which women are raped, but it's useful for us. And
yeah, you've been reading Thornhill and Palmer, haven't you?
I don't remember the name, but guess which group won out? The feminists that put the narrative ahead of reducing the number of women who are raped in a year. There are women today who are suffering the trauma of having been raped because feminists put their narrative first. And then they turn around and they say, we advocate for sexual violence survivors and domestic violence survivors of any kind, male or female. No, they do not. I am fucking sorry, but I'm blowing out your ears. I'll move back a bit. They do not. They advocate for using them to support their narratives about reality. And there are women raped and women who have been abused who are suffering these things because feminists chose to put their narrative first instead of female victims. And that pisses me off almost even more than the male victims, because they say that they advocate for them and they do not. Okay.
All right. Alison.
I'm sorry.
Okay, but now can you tell us what you really feel?
I hope I haven't blown people's earbuds.
Well, yeah, RIP headphone users. But I do have a cap on the volume, so it shouldn't have killed anyone.
Yeah, no, I'm wearing headphones.
They might just be stunned.
I'm not dead. I'm not even stunned.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, I didn't even have to turn the volume down. So thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I do have some super chats I want to read through really quick, and then I guess we'll figure out where to go from here. I don't know if Karen has to leave or what.
Well, I'm going to step away for a minute anyway. But
okay, go ahead.
I'll just.
Richard Bier gives us $1.99 and says, Karen, that's how they pay women less for the same work. I don't remember what that's in reference to, but maybe they should. Miles Kinslow gives us $10. Thank you, Miles. and says, hey guys, what do you think is going to happen to Marilyn Manson given this case? People think his appearance will affect his lawsuit. Also, thank you, your work. I think you mean to say thank you for your work. You're welcome. Look, I looked into it a little bit, and it sounds like everyone thinks that the Marilyn Manson case is likely just going to get thrown out, and that he's already started a defamation case against, what's the name of the woman that accused him of sexual assault? I believe it was Evan Rachel Wood. And I mean, I hope he goes through with it. I hope that this becomes another massive event with a lot of people talking about it on social media, because I think that people need to see this, you know, they need to see this stuff. And I'm fairly certain, again, that they were lying about Marilyn Manson, because based on what I know about his exes who have said, look, he didn't do anything that I didn't want. Essentially, Marilyn Manson is a bit of a weird guy. I don't know if you guys have noticed. So that means that maybe some of his, you know, intimacy is a little bit unorthodox, but these women, they were with him for that. And one of them was Rose McGowan, who was one of the biggest Me Too advocates like ever, right? And she said, well, look, he never touched me in, you know, in any way that I thought was inappropriate while we were together. So my guess would be, and it's too early to tell, so you never know, you know, what we're going to learn, but my guess would be that Marilyn Manson is just the next guy that these people are trying to destroy. And he's probably, there isn't a lot of evidence against him, and I think that he's going to fight back. So my guess. But Alison, you're muted. I don't know if you were trying to say something or what. You're not? Okay. So that is it for the super chats. Thank you guys.
We got super chows.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I got shouty. This is one thing that really aggravates the hell out of me is the feminist claim that they advocate for victims. Meanwhile, they're using them people to be victimized so that they can continue to use them for their narrative. Okay, so Super Chow channel. No, we didn't get done there.
No, I know there was just one. I just thought I'd put it in now because sometimes people forget. So
yes, okay. So the Great Indoors sends us $5 and says, "I wonder if Johnny is going to play Castles Made of Sand with Jeff Beck on stage tonight as tribute." I think we said that one.
Yeah,
he sent that as a. He sent that. Yeah, you already responded to that one. It's just the last
Great
one.
Indoors gave us an additional $5, and it says, "I think Alison is right. The HBR MRM grapevine surely seems to be working in mysterious ways right now. Hashtag grapevine culture." Well, I am like, when I look through the Me Too or Men Too tag and all of the defenders of Johnny Depp, and I see them using arguments, like women using arguments that we've made, I am fascinated by that. Like, and the funny thing is that I think
we have been at this for like 12
years, almost
13 years.
Oh yeah, maybe longer.
I've been at it for 12.
Has been at this for actually almost 9 years now. I used to say 7, but Jesus, the last 2 years. No, it's been about 9 years now. It's gonna be 9 years in August that we have been at this.
Yeah, I my channel, I put it up in like I started blogging in 2010, I believe, and then I started my channel in 2011. So it's been like 11, 12 years of reaching people. And, you know, the last couple of years, I haven't been putting up videos, but I have been, you know, talking to new people. Virgin bums on virgin seats constantly. Morning drive time radio in Cincinnati.
Well, somebody said that Alison caring about women is caring about men. Yeah, because men and women come together to create society, which we all enjoy. You know.
Yeah, we're like something.
It's almost like we evolved together.
Yeah, it's almost like we're like fellow travelers who have like a common goal, a set of goals, like to have a nice life and decent things, and you know, be able to feed ourselves and shit. So.
Yeah, and if men don't have rights, how do they defend women's rights or women?
They
Yep.
don't.
They don't. And I think
Or
that's the
feed
point.
women. Or feed
Or feed
women,
them.
or shelter women, or clothe women, or help raise women's offspring,
Yeah,
which
their
are also
offspring, mutual offspring.
the men's offspring. So it's like if you handicap men, it really is kind of like, Warren Farrell, he's kind of good at coming up with catchphrases and stuff, but he says if men lose, if women win, both men and women lose, right? Something like that.
Yeah. If one sex
But if men
wins,
win-
both sexes lose.
But
Yeah.
the funny thing is that I think if men win because of the way that they are instinctively,
Probably just
They-
redistribute
better,
their
it'd be
winnings
better.
to women.
they want to protect and provide women because that is how they've evolved. That's why we have a society, really. It literally, that's how men evolved. They evolved to provide for women. That's where we
Yeah.
came from as a species. And then
like
women
the-
in turn evolved a connection, an emotional connection to particular male hominids.
Yeah, but
It's
I mean,
like-
like it
It's like
is
the Dave
it is like
Dave Chappelle's comedic sketch where he says, women want nice things, men want women or a woman. So, they try to acquire nice things so that women will come to them. And then they're like, gotcha, bitch. So that's literally where the gotcha bitch comes
it's
from.
hilarious.
Gotcha,
I read
bitch.
this comment. I hate to say it, but it looks like this is what it took for the issue of male victims of domestic violence to be taken seriously. Sadly, MRAs haven't been effective in the court of opinion. Are you kidding me? We have been here working on getting these ideas out, these arguments out. We have big channels who replicate our arguments. They may not push our particular brand of things we care about, but they
and they may not describe themselves as men's rights activists.
Nobody
but
has
they're-
to.
But they're
Seriously.
but they're doing the work.
Yeah, no, like you look at some of the channels that I've inspired that like even be created, and it's Sargon of Akkad said, "You're the reason I exist." He sat across a table of bakes in Milwaukee from me and said, right, because I wouldn't have. He said, I wouldn't have started my channel if I hadn't been inspired by you. And, and there's other people who...
Yeah. I know that these arguments get out into the ether and other people pick them up, and sometimes they're normies who, hear it from someone else who watches someone who watches us, or whatever number of degrees away it is. I know that there are, other people that are getting some, reach again through, the fact that we're out, basically what I think is we're out here, we're saying these things. It only takes a couple of people to pick up on it and then repeat it somewhere else. And next thing you know, a lot of people are more and more aware of it. And I wouldn't be, I spoke to...
That's what raising awareness is supposed to be.
Yeah, that's what it is, right? And I had Greg Ellis. You know Greg Ellis, right, Karen?
Yes.
The actor, friend of Johnny Depp's.
Yeah.
Their kids go to the same school. I had him on the show because we did a video where we responded to an interview he was doing, and we were a bit critical. We had we had some things to say. I wouldn't say they were negative. I think they were criticisms of some of the things he said. But then I asked him to be a guest because I felt like he was definitely on the right path, right? He's trying to understand what was going on with the Depp situation, but also I believe he also had some personal experience with this. This similar stuff, right? And so we had him on the show, and I talked to him in a fireside chat, and I think maybe Alison might have been there too, but I'm not really sure. And at the time, I think he came in with his defenses up, like he was afraid that we were going to attack him. But I basically said, no, I like what you have done. I like that you're on this conversation. This is a path very few people take, you know, and then I shared my thoughts, and then he shared his, and I think that everything was amicable. And then Greg Ellis, who has a podcast, and because he's a Hollywood guy, he gets access to people who have more reach than we do. And he was also, then later, I think he spoke to Dr. Warren Farrell. He spoke to Paul Elam on his channel. And those conversations, those realities are getting into more and more people's consciousness. And it's from these, you know, so now when he makes a podcast, he's aware of the biases against men. He is aware of it, and he talks about it openly. And again, what does it take? Well, maybe Russell Brand one day will turn on his thing and see Greg Ellis and say, I wonder what he's got to say. And maybe that will rub off. That's like the best you could hope for, really. And so I do think it makes a massive difference. And Greg Ellis doesn't have to say, I'm an MRA. I don't care if the MRA. I mean, we know that the conversation is what matters, not that we're getting clout. So
or whatever. Well, you know, or huge views, or like gigantic payouts, or whatever it is.
I'm not in this funny, and that's one of the things that I think a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people that accuse us of being grifters are basically, I think it's confession through projection, because you know they are, you know, like I watch a certain gentleman whose username initials were MM. You know, I would say and watch people throw hundreds, tens of thousands of dollars at him in a single 2-hour live stream, right?
Whoa.
And he was calling us grifters, and I'm like, yeah, really? Like,
you know, like, I think that I spent
8 months. I spent 8 months agging about whether to put ads on my channel.
Yeah, and
because I didn't want to be seen as profiting.
Me and Brian are in a different situation because we have been able to, and you know, my family, we have been able to actually make this a full-time job, but it's not a full-time job you do if you want money.
No. If you want to, like,
if I wanted to make money, I'd make feminist content. I'd probably do it better than most feminists. Like, seriously, I just make,
because you have all the arguments,
sell
so
my soul, and just I could make the feminist arguments better than they can. Yeah. So
well, actually, that's true, because we steal men,
and you're the right color too.
Yeah, and I'm brown too, and I mean, I can just come up with a gender and just be that. So it's very easy.
You could be shipwreck.
Mexagender.
No. You should be Rocky Road gender. Something delicious.
I like Rocky Road. I could do it.
Yeah.
I'm brown too.
Yeah. All right. So
anyway.
Do we want to go through? So Karen has to go. I think we've gone through the highlights of Amber Heard's letter.
That was the statement about women was the big takeaway, because that's what she's going to do now.
And free speech. Free speech.
Yeah, and the frozen peaches. But I think it's mostly going to be about how this harms, you know, real victims or something. And that is going to be the story. So prepare yourselves. The thought pieces are coming. They're going to be cringe. And Amber Heard is probably going to, you know, write another op-ed for the WAPO.
About how she's the system.
It wasn't just Depp that hates her, but it's the whole system that does. Yeah, just like all women.
The system was 100% against her because she's a woman, despite the fact that if she had been Arnold and Arnold had said, "Hey baby, I don't know what my hand was doing, but I didn't punch you. I hit on a freaking recording," Arnold would be out day one. Like he would have been, he would disappeared from the public eye. You know, there's no way she would have gotten a step further than she did if she was a man. Period.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
There's no way to argue it. Okay.
All right.
Shall we?
All right. You know, assigning for those of you. I think this was published in the New Republic, believe it or not. Jamie Lee Jones, I believe her name was. She actually got Al Franken sponsored and managed to pass legislation on her behalf because she was a victim, right? Because she was a employee of a military contractor called KBR, and she made an accusation that she was viciously raped when she was like stationed in Afghanistan or Iraq or something like that. And she claimed that KBR covered it up, and KBR requires in their contracts with employees that any complaints go to binding arbitration instead of the courts. And so Al Franken took up her flag and said, we need to change the law so that these poor women who get raped as military contractors can actually sue in a court of law. She ended up having to pay, well, there was a judgment. KBR got a judgment for all of their defense expenses, right? All of their expenses, all of their costs, got a judgment against her. And it just turned out she was like some freaking bitch with Munchausen syndrome. And she lied about the whole thing. And the New Republic, to their credit, the New Republic, I think it was might have been Mother Jones, published an in-depth investigative piece on that case and found that, yeah, no, like there's a reason why she lost her case and ended up having to pay all of these costs. But that doesn't mean that legislation she inspired is going to be repealed or anything. So there you go. So no, when women lie, it has a lot of power often. So
yep.
So
all right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I just wanted to
see you
add
later,
one
everybody.
thing, 'cause they say, see you, Karen.
add one
Now
thing.
I gotta...
Okay, all right. Well, I was going to say, well, they say that, feminists, well, first of all, they're using something that's false. It doesn't actually reflect reality. And they're using something that doesn't actually reflect reality because their narrative triggers all of our desires to protect and provide for women. Did Mike know you're on air?
Was he rubbing his belly?
Yeah. He's just,
Yeah, there you go.
okay. Sorry, I just found that really funny. It's like photobomb. Mike
Yeah,
photobomb
yeah,
my
no.
screen.
It's
Okay, but anyway, so like they're
yeah.
talking about
Don't draw
something
attention to it, Alison. He's shy.
Just-
Very shy. Oh, now he's got the back of his shirt up and he's scratching his back.
Okay, all right.
But at least he's not on camera.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So what I was trying to say is they're trying to use false understanding of reality because it conforms to our instincts to provide and protect for women. In order to, so it's like you create the sickness, you sell the cure.
Yeah.
But the other thing is
you don't even sell the cure, you sell a placebo.
What I want? I would
No,
love
you sell
to
poison.
actually. Do you know what I would love to actually make a living on? Writing. Like just writing fiction. That's like, so if we ever lived in a world where men's rights was suddenly, oh yeah, that's a cool thing. We should all care about the rights of abused men and men who experience sexual violence and men when they want to have access to their children or the children want to have access. We should all care about those things. If I lived in that world, I wouldn't be manufacturing victims to pretend that men are victims of. I'd be writing because it'd be done. It'd be over with. We can move on.
Ironically, one of the things that Warren Farrell said to me, because my the man who was just walking past, one of the things he did early on in our relationship was send my first blog post to Warren Farrell, and Oh, fuck. While I was at work, without asking me, and I was so mad at him. And then Warren Farrell responded and said, well, I think you should write fiction that touches on these issues. But at that point, I was just like, I'm so fucking sick of writing fiction. It's just not even funny because I'm more into, actually writing nonfiction. So, but yeah, no, he was just like, no, just go out and write fiction that touches on the issues. And what we actually need, I think, is an Anne Rule. We need our very own Anne Rule. She was a true crime novelist, not novelist, true crime narrative nonfiction writer. Yeah. And she would actually take a case, a murder case or something like that, right? And she would basically, instead of doing a nonfiction, typical nonfiction piece, she would do a narrative nonfiction, so true crime novel, basically, right? Like we need some of those, I think.
True crime related to men's issues. When
Yeah.
I read true crime, one of the things that really bothers me is that there is this incredibly cliched, hackneyed, stereotypical, like male sociopath, and everybody is like okay with it. And I'm reading this and I'm like, this doesn't, okay, you're having this serious crime drama, and then dastardly, like, what's that guy from like the Mountie?
Dexter?
Oh, you mean Dick Dastardly or the
Dick
villain?
Dastardly,
he was the guy from Wacky Races, but it's the same thing.
Yeah,
Dick Dastardly.
but anyway, well, my point is that you got this author, usually female, who's trying to create this serious, almost literary, like true crime or thriller, and then on comes Dick Dastardly, waving his fucking.
Okay,
like
but
he just completely blows.
Twisting his
all kinds of-
mustache and yeah.
But that's not true crime. I would say anybody who
Is it
wants
more like
to,
isn't true
No,
crime?
not
Wait.
true crime. I meant, like,
Isn't
thriller.
true? Oh, I was gonna say, isn't true crime more like sort of
True
like
crime
a slightly
takes-
dramatized version of a real thing that happened?
Yes, it takes a real case and all of the actual factual documented events in that case, and then it takes some liberties around people's thoughts, motivations, and conversations that were never documented and things like that, right? So it's kind of like a docudrama, in written form. And but Anne Rule, she did a book called I think it was her, called Small Sacrifices, about basically a Susan Smith, a woman who, she got divorced, she had kids, she got divorced, she was dating a new man, and the new man was just like, I don't want to be a stepdad, like, fuck that shit. I'm, this is just a fling, and that's all it's ever going to be. So she killed her kids. And it's a real case. Diane Downs is the name of the woman who did this and was convicted and all of that, right? So, I mean, like, you can actually kind of dramatize in literary or film form these stories. And, I think maybe we need a true crime novel to be written about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And
yeah.
Every single documented fact will be factual, and will be, and then the other stuff. And a lot of times they, with true crime novels, they'll actually change the names and stuff like that. But But yeah, in Diane Downs' case, the prosecutor actually adopted the 2 children of the 3 who survived. Right?
Yeah.
So, and one had a stroke that gave her brain damage, and the other, her brother, had been paralyzed from the waist down when she shot them. And then the 3rd child had died. And the prosecutor got so close with these kids dealing with the case that, because it was just like, I guess Diane figured that if I drive real slow to the hospital, they'll die on the way, and she shot herself in the arm to make it look like it was like a carjacker. So she didn't bank on the kids living and like the kids surviving and being able to say that it was their mom who actually shot them in the backseat of the car. Right? So, yeah, no, like, so a lot of these things, I mean, like, this isn't anything new that women can behave like this. It's not new. I mean, because that was a TV, it was made into a TV movie starring Farrah Fawcett. Farrah Fawcett. So,
all right, I'm going to double check to make sure we don't have any super chats.
Yeah, we should get this wrapped up.
I'm gonna go. So,
all right.
Yes,
goodbye, all.
We do have an additional super chat. See ya. See ya, Karen. Bye. Thank you for joining.
This is going to make all of this look like a mess, so I'm going to switch this to no cameras.
Okay. Do you want to go through the rest of Amber Heard's? Or just call it a.
Yeah, let's go. Well, wait.
Yeah, okay.
Do you go to the rest of what? I thought we were just going to read the super chats.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to finish off Amber Heard's
statement
thing.
I read the whole thing.
Oh, you did? Boy, that was brief and dumb. Okay, all right. So Johnny Boy Quick Draw gives us $5 and says, there once was a liar named Heard who couldn't find no lie too absurd. She lit the gas and spread her ass, producing an amber red turd.
That's sounds like you need to get that looked at.
Yeah, but we did actually comment that Amber maybe needs some fiber in her diet or fats or something.
I know it looked like there's a lot of fats, but I mean, yeah, it looks like she just shit bark. I mean, that's what I thought it was, like wood chips, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. You gotta.
Maybe you should spend a little bit more time on your colon health versus just.
Yeah, probably should. I think it'd be better to maybe include some more fats. I know that like you guys love being vegans and everything, but I don't know if that's like really the move. What was that now?
That's maybe you should spend a little bit more and less on false accusations. But anyway, that was
keto.
That was the shout. Do we have any super chats?
Yes, we have a couple of super chats. Well, wait, actually, no, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I thought we did, we don't. So no, that's all the super chats. They are done. I don't know why I thought there was another one. Yep, we're good. This was not a waste of time. I am glad. I'm pleasantly pleased. Oh, some people in the chat were saying that because this court case was in Virginia, there's like a limit on something about a limit on what they can be awarded. It was okay. So that's why Depp didn't get more than he didn't get what he was asking for. Yeah, but he might have just been asking for a bunch and really wasn't concerned with whether or not he would get it. His lawyers may have pushed for it or something. Said. But
he did this for his kids.
Yeah,
he
did
do
this
it
for the
public
kids.
Opinion.
Yeah,
because his kids were being bullied for being children of a wife beater.
Exactly. Now, at least
my husband says he's probably going to send the money to a children's charity or something. I wouldn't be surprised.
We'll have to see if his career can restabilize, because he may need some money, if he lives. But look, everyone's gonna be okay. Amber Heard's not gonna end up homeless. She's gonna be fine. And she's probably going to get a lot of support from not-for-profits and various other feminist organizations. They're going to come to her. I mean, when I looked at her tweet where she released this statement, and unequivocal support, like everyone in the chat, right? Oh, you were so amazing and strong these past few days. I'm sorry, Angel, your bravery and strength to stand up for yourself and all survivors won't go unnoticed. Stay strong. Your bravery for standing up for yourself won't go unnoticed. We love you now and forever. I am and you know how it is. I don't know how many of those are real people, or but
I wouldn't be
she's
surprised
gonna
if
be
it's all,
fine.
like,
She's gonna be fine.
It's all like her.
Yeah, she's got like 100 accounts. She's typing to herself. It's gonna be okay, girl. Hashtag queen. But anyway,
I know. All right, so I just want to remind everyone that you can send us a tip even after the show is over at feedthebadger.com/justthetip. We will endeavor to get to those messages in the next stream. And once again, I want to thank all of our very generous supporters who helped get this fundraiser this month over the top. And yes, thank you all. Really appreciate it. We will now be able to continue to do the next month. So back to you, Brian.
All right, so if you guys like this video, please smash the like button. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications so you know when we go live. And follow us and subscribe to us on our alternative media sites. So we're not just on Honey Badger Radio. Follow us at Badger Live Streams, which will be reactivated, I think, in a week. It's like the 8th, so maybe a week and a day or something. I don't know. Also on Rumble at HB Radio. Follow us on Twitch at Honey Badger Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Honey Badger Bite, and Facebook at Honey Badger Brigade. I know. So yeah, if you guys could follow to all of those places so that you know when our streams go live. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think about the verdict. And what your thoughts are, what your opinions are. Did you expect this outcome? Does this really shock you? Anything that you think is relevant. What do you predict will come in the future in the wake of this? Because this isn't over in the cultural sense. Just the case is over. Depp can finally relax. He's probably just gonna disappear from the public eye for a little while, and that's fine by me. And most importantly, please share this video because I know there's a lot of people that are interested. Maybe they want to hear, a different perspective. I don't know. Go ahead and share that. Yeah, and all of the context that comes with it.
The context around men who experience domestic abuse and the sort of the institutional bias that they face, the uphill battle that they have. That's and also, what feminists have been up to in terms of so-called advocating for victims. So all that might be of interest to people. Anyway, sorry for interrupting, Brian. Continue.
No, it's all right. And yeah, so please consider sharing this video. It's the best way to help our channel grow. Thank you guys so much for coming on today's episode of the Fundzerker, and we will talk to you all in the next video. See you.
Men's rights activists are machines, dude. Okay, they are literal machines. They are talking point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have like a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too. Holy shit, you're fucked.